As I stepped off the plane in New Delhi, the sepia-toned sun began its slow descent toward the horizon, casting a golden hue over everything it touched. The heat enveloped me like a warm embrace, palpable and overwhelming, mixed with the intoxicating aroma of spices that lingered in the air. It was a sensory overload, and I felt a rush of excitement mingled with a hint of apprehension as I navigated through the bustling airport. Neon signs in both Hindi and English danced around me, bright flashes of color competing for my attention, ushering me into a world rich with culture and history. I was ready for an adventure that promised to stretch the very limits of my imagination and invigorate my spirit. My first destination was the renowned Red Fort, a colossal structure steeped in history, its red sandstone walls towering above me like ancient sentinels guarding the past. Standing before this magnificent fortress, I was transported to a different era, a time when emperors walked these very paths. The fort echoed with the whispers of history, stories carried by the wind, weaving a tapestry of life long gone. Tourists and locals merged together, their voices creating a colorful symphony of sound, each note a reflection of the city's vibrant culture. I strolled through its vast courtyards, envisioning the grand celebrations that must have taken place centuries ago, as the sun cast long shadows on the ground, playing tricks on my senses. After soaking in the stories whispered by the stones, I ventured into the labyrinthine alleys of Chandni Chowk nearby. This place was alive with energy. Vendors shouted over one another, their voices competing like musical notes in a lively orchestra. The intoxicating sense of fried street food wafted through the air, mingling with the sweetness of fresh fruit and the captivating essence of incense. My senses were enveloped by this vibrant chaos as I wandered amidst an astonishing array of wares. Street vendors proudly displaying glittering bangles, colorful saris, and fragrant spices piled high in colorful bags. My hunger peaked as I passed a vendor frying crispy samosas, the golden pastries bubbling in the hot oil, their tantalizing aroma teasing my taste buds. That's when I noticed him, a man sitting cross-legged on the pavement, his long white beard framing a face marked by stories untold, his eyes shimmering with a depth that suggested he had witnessed the world change around him. He wore a bright orange turban that almost glowed in the dim light of the fading sun. As I approached, he beckoned me with a weathered hand, inviting me to sit beside him on the cool pavement. "You seek more than just sights?" he asked, his voice a rasp, yet imbued with warmth that made me feel instantly at ease. I nodded, intrigued by the wisdom that seemed to radiate from him. He leaned closer, his breath carrying the scent of spices, and whispered, "Sometimes, what we find isn't what we seek." His words hung in the air, heavy with meaning, and I found myself captivated by the notion that adventure was not just about the places I would visit, but also the experiences and connections I would make along the way. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted around us. A group of young men burst into the scene, their laughter dissolving into the air like smoke. They had brought with them a burst of energy, a celebration of youth and freedom. They were playing a spirited game of gully cricket, their enthusiasm infectious. The ball zipped through the air, accompanied by playful shouts and the rhythmic thump of feet against the pavement. Without thinking, I was drawn to their game, caught in the whirlwind of their joy. As I joined in, I quickly learned that the rules were loose, defined by the spirit of fun rather than strict regulations. The sun continued to spill its warm glow over us as laughter filled the alleyways, blurring the lines between strangers. I was no longer an outsider. I was part of this pulsating tapestry of life, weaving my own threads into the story of this vibrant city. After a few exhilarating rounds, a young man named Arjun, with sparkling eyes and a contagious smile, introduced himself. "You've got to play like you mean it," he exclaimed, handing me a bat. As I swung it, I could feel the echoes of camaraderie surrounding me, igniting a fire in my soul. With every hit, every cheer, I felt myself becoming more intertwined with the essence of my surroundings. After an exhilarating afternoon, I parted ways with my new friends, feeling invigorated and alive. The sun had nearly set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, and I found myself wandering aimlessly through the streets, marveling at the small wonders that lay in every corner. I passed by a tea stall where a vendor was expertly pouring steaming chai from one cup to another, the liquid flowing in an elegant arc. The aroma was irresistible, and I couldn't help but stop. "One cup, please." I called to him, my voice mingling with the gentle sounds of the evening. He smiled, and with practiced ease, he served me a cup of the milky, spiced potion. As I took my first sip, the warmth radiated through me, a perfect blend of flavors that was both comforting and exhilarating. In the midst of New Delhi's vibrant chaos, I found solace in the simple act of enjoying a cup of tea, watching as the world continued to unfold around me. Each sip became a moment of reflection, a reminder that moments like these, spontaneous, beautiful, and shared with strangers, were what made traveling so rich and meaningful. The busy streets buzzed with life, illuminated by colorful lights reflecting the spirit of the city as night fell. Emboldened by my experiences, I knew that my journey was far from over. I was ready to explore more of what India had to offer. My next stop was Mumbai, the city that never sleeps, a place where dreams surge forward in the sheer vibrancy of everyday life. As I prepared to leave New Delhi, the fragrances, sounds, and faces lingered, forever etched in my memory, like a postcard from a place that had truly come alive. There was something undeniably magnetic about the prospect of Mumbai, a city that promised intensity, possibility, and a story that was still being written. With my heart racing and my spirit soaring, I stepped onto the train that would take me there, eager to embrace whatever awaited me on this next leg of my journey. Each station I passed seemed to pulse with its own thinking, as if the entire country was whispering to me, urging me to discover all its hidden gems. I settled into my seat, the rhythmic clatter of the train accentuating my anticipation, each jolt of the carriage a reminder of the adventure yet to come. I found myself captivated by the vibrant streets of Kandy, Sri Lanka, a place where the air is thick with aroma from the local spices and the backdrop is painted with lush green hills. The gentle sway of palm trees and the distant sound of temple bells made me feel tied to the rhythm of this enchanting city. Little did I know that soon my journey would expand beyond the serene beauty of Kandy as I prepared to venture into the bustling metropolises of New Delhi and Mumbai in India. As I boarded the flight, anticipation coursed through my veins. The thrill of new experiences awaited. The plane lifted off the ground, leaving the last remnants of Kandy's idyllic views behind, and I settled in for a journey into the heart of India, a land steeped in culture and clamor. With every passing moment, my heart pounded with excitement, eager for what was to come. Upon my arrival in New Delhi, the first thing that struck me was the rush of energy in the air. The cacophony of honking horns, shouting vendors, and the delightful scent of freshly fried samosas filled my senses. The warmth of the people was palpable, and I was an unwitting participant in the intricate dance of life that unfolded before me. My senses were bombarded by an array of colors, sounds, and tastes that set my heart racing. The sights of Delhi were unlike anything I had ever experienced. I visited the Grand India Gate, a memorial etched with history, which stood proudly against the azure sky. Children played cricket nearby, their laughter mingling with the sound of distant music. I felt an overwhelming urge to document this moment, pulling out my camera and snapping picture after picture, hoping to preserve the essence of this vibrant city. Wandering through the narrow alleys of Chandni Chowk, I was swept away by the kaleidoscope of life that adorned its depths. The bustling market was a feast for the senses, filled with vendors shouting about their wares, each more colorful than the last. From sweets glistening under the bright sun to vibrant saris hung like painterly masterpieces, every corner beckoned for exploration. As I savored the melt-in-your-mouth jalebis, a sweet, spiral-shaped treat soaked in syrup, I felt a sense of connectivity to the people around me, each bite an invitation to indulge in the local flavors. In the evening, I found myself in Connaught Place, an area known for its colonial architecture and lively atmosphere. As day surrendered to night, the bustling square transformed into a magical landscape. Strings of lights twinkled overhead, casting a warm glow that danced among the shadows. I stumbled upon a cozy cafe, its ambience infused with the melodies of local musicians strumming vibrant tunes that complemented the city's heartbeat. It was here that I met Ananya, a girl whose spirit seemed to radiate through her playful laughter and sparkling eyes full of mischief. As we started talking, I learned about her passion for art and travel, her adventurous soul mirroring my own curiosity for the world. We were two kindred spirits sharing our stories, weaving a bond that seemed to intensify with each playful exchange. Just as we were truly connecting, a sudden commotion outside the cafe disrupted our moment. An enthusiastic street vendor had arrived, drawing an eager crowd like moths to a flame. Curiosity piqued. We stepped outside to witness the uproar. In the chaos, something caught my eye, a delicate silver bracelet lying half buried in the dust beneath a nearby stall. I rushed to pick it up, holding the intricate piece in my palm, its glimmering surface reflecting the soft light of the evening. Do you think it belongs to someone? I asked, turning to Ananya, whose gaze fell upon the bracelet with intrigue. Her brow furrowed thoughtfully, and her smile morphed into a look of determination. Let's find out. And just like that, the night transformed into a whirlwind adventure. With the bracelet safely tucked away in my pocket, we delved into the lively streets, our mission clear. We approached shopkeepers, each inquiry met with a mix of confusion and curiosity, but the bracelet felt like a phantom wandering, disconnected from its owner. I could sense the thrill building in both of us as we chatted and laughed, uncovering small gems of tales from the locals along the way, but no one seemed to recognize it or know who might miss it. Our search eventually led us to a small community center, nestled in a quieter part of the city. The smile etched on the face of an elderly woman, the founder of the center dedicated to uplifting underprivileged children, drew us in. The place buzzed with life. Children were scattered around, engaged in various activities, laughter ringing through the air as vibrant colors adorned the walls. So much love and creativity emanated from this little haven. With a spark of hope, I approached the woman and shared our story, the journey of the bracelet, and the desire to reunite it with its rightful owner. Her face lit up, and she took a moment, reflecting on the lives she had touched within these walls. There are so many stories here, she mused. It could belong to one of our girls. Together, we made a quick announcement, drawing the attention of the children nearby. One girl, with big, hopeful eyes and a spirit that shone through her modest attire, gasped as she saw the bracelet. "That's mine," she cried, rushing forward, arms outstretched. Her joy was infectious, igniting a spark in both Ananya and me. As we handed her the bracelet, her gratitude and happiness flashed like fireworks in the night sky. It wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of connection and kindness, a reminder of the lives woven together in unexpected ways. The air was thick with joy. It was a moment I would forever hold in my heart, a testament to the power of community and the magic of chance encounters. As we bid farewell to the community center, the bond that had formed between Ananya and me felt solidified. Our adventure had offered us a glimpse into the rich tapestry of lives in Delhi, promising stories yet to be discovered. With the memories swirling in my mind and each step echoing tales of laughter and connection, I knew I was ready for the next chapter of my journey in Mumbai, a city bursting at the seams with dreams and possibilities waiting to be explored. I continued my journey through the vibrant streets of Mumbai. Memories of my time in Kandy, Sri Lanka, still lingered, whispering tales of ancient temples and lush landscapes. Kandy had felt like stepping into a rich tapestry woven with stories of culture, history, and spirituality. But now, here in Mumbai, the energy was electric, pulsating through every corner and alleyway. The moment I boarded the train to this bustling metropolis, the anticipation bubbled within me. The train ride itself was an experience to remember, a vivid tapestry of emotions, sights, and sounds, each station revealing a different shade of life in India. From the moment the journey began, I was surrounded by a medley of voices, each carrying snippets of conversation, laughter, and exclamations of excitement. The rhythmic clatter of the train wheels on the tracks mingled with the faint scent of spices wafting from nearby food stalls, creating a sensory feast that was uniquely Indian. As the train pulled into Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, I felt a surge of electricity course through the air. The station, an architectural marvel, stood proudly, reflecting the glory of Mumbai's colonial past while embracing the chaos of modernity. The bustling hive of energy enveloped me, the atmosphere thick with ambition, dreams, and the occasional hint of desperation. It felt as if the very bricks of the station had absorbed countless stories of hope and struggle, and I was about to add my own. Navigating through the swirling masses of commuters, vendors, and tourists proved to be both exhilarating and overwhelming. The symphony of honking rickshaws, the chatter of street hawkers, the laughter of children playing nearby, all blended into a vibrant cacophony that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the city. I deftly wove through this frenetic rhythm, my curiosity guiding me to my first stop, the Gateway of India. Approaching the gateway, I was struck by its grandeur. The majestic archway, a symbol of Mumbai, towered above the crowds, welcoming them with open arms. Tourists were scattered around like colorful confetti, capturing moments with their cameras while locals mingled, their laughter mingling with the salty breeze from the Arabian Sea. As I stood there, I could almost feel the waves of history crashing against the stones. I took a deep breath, inhaling the sea air, which mingled beautifully with the sweet aroma of fresh coconut water from a vendor just a few feet away. The vendor's cheerful shouts beckoned me closer. "One coconut water for you, sir. Best in the city." With a grin, I nodded, handing him a few rupees. As he deftly hacked open the top of the coconut, the refreshing liquid spilled forth. I lifted the coconut to my lips, the cool water flooding my senses, invigorating me as I watched the world pulse around me. I felt alive. After a few moments of soaking in the sights, I made my way down to the waterfront. The waves lapped gently at the shore, creating a soothing soundtrack that contrasted with the bustling energy of Mumbai. Families gathered, children splashing about, their laughter ringing through the air like music, despite the chaos surrounding them. I took a moment to sit on a bench, watching as the local fishermen cast their nets into the sea. It was a simple yet powerful reminder of the resilience and strength of the human spirit, a theme that seemed to resonate throughout my journey in India. As dusk began to settle over the city, the sky transformed into a canvas painted with hues of orange and pink, an endless horizon stretching before me. People flocked to the gateway to witness the sunset, their faces aglow in the warm light. I chatted with a few travelers, sharing stories of our adventures. One woman spoke of her travels through Rajasthan, describing the palaces and deserts with such vivid detail that I felt as if I had experienced it all myself. We laughed and exchanged tips, forming a fleeting bond over our shared love for exploration. In that moment, I realized just how interconnected our stories were, weaving together like threads in a grand tapestry. Each experience, every emotion, shared with others, adding depth to my journey. A sense of belonging washed over me as I sat there, surrounded by a multitude of voices and backgrounds, all united in our shared wonder for this spectacular city. Later that evening, I made my way to Colaba, where the streets were alive with vibrant markets, each stall overflowing with an array of colorful goods. The aroma of street food wafted through the air, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. I tried bel puri for the first time, the crisp textures and tangy flavors exploding in my mouth, delighting my taste buds. Vendors around me engaged in lively banter, their voices harmonizing with the sizzling sound of food being prepared on sizzling griddles. As I ambled through the markets, the pulsating energy of the city ignited my spirit. I couldn't help but marvel at the contrasts that defined Mumbai, luxury and poverty existing side by side, hope flourishing amid despair. Each story I encountered, each face I met, was a reflection of this marvelous city, a reminder that life, with its intricate weave of emotions, was a journey we all shared. With my heart full and my skin tinged with the vibrant colors of Mumbai, I knew that this adventure was far from over. The city felt like a living entity, its heart beating in time with my own, inviting me deeper into its embrace. I made my way to Marine Drive, where the gentle lapping of the waves at the shore created a calming backdrop against the vibrant life of the city. As I stood there, gazing out over the water, a cool breeze played with my hair. In that moment, I felt at peace, connected to the world around me, to the people I had met, and to the ever-unfolding journey that lay ahead. As I embarked on my exhilarating journey after leaving behind the enchanting city of Kandy in Sri Lanka, My travels led me next to the vibrant cities of New Delhi and Mumbai in India. The excitement of new experiences thrummed in my veins, making my heart leap as I anticipated what lay ahead. Arriving in New Delhi, I was immediately swept up by the kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and aromas that enveloped me. The air buzzed with the chatter of locals bargaining in bustling bazaars, while the tantalizing scents of street food danced around me. I could barely contain my eagerness as I explored, wandering through the historic streets lined with ancient structures that whispered stories from centuries past. The grandeur of India's capital was not just in its stunning landmarks like the Red Fort or India Gate, but also in the hidden nooks and crannies where life unfolded in its most authentic form. One afternoon, while sipping a cup of masala chai at a street vendor's stall, I struck up a conversation with a friendly local named Ramesh. His face lit up as he animatedly described his favorite spots around the city. "You must see the Qutub Minar. It's not just a tower, it's a testament to the history that surrounds us," he exclaimed, his passion contagious. Ramesh painted vivid images with his words, and before I knew it, I was swept away in the tide of his enthusiasm, promising to visit the landmarks he loved most. As I ventured deeper into Delhi, I stumbled upon a quaint little cafe, its walls adorned with local art. I found the atmosphere utterly magnetic and took a moment to just soak in the vibrant energy. A street musician played a soulful tune outside, his fingers dancing over the strings of his sitar. I felt the music wrap around me like a warm embrace, and I knew I was in the right place to capture the essence of the city. After a few thrilling days in New Delhi, I took a train to Mumbai. The hypnotic blend of chaos and harmony welcomed me immediately. The city was alive, pulsating with energy, as if every corner held a new opportunity waiting to be discovered. On my first day in Mumbai, I set out with a sense of wonder, eager to explore the neighborhoods that held countless stories just waiting to be told. Ananya, a friend I had met in Kandy, had shared some intriguing recommendations with me before my departure. "You simply must visit Bandra. There's an art gallery tucked away in those narrow lanes that you won't want to miss," she had said, her eyes sparkling with mischief and admiration. Armed with her directions, I navigated through the crowded streets of Bandra, in search of the hidden gem she had described. After winding my way through bustling alleyways dazzling with graffiti, each piece an explosion of color and creativity, I finally found the narrow passageway that would lead me to the gallery. It was nestled like a secret treasure, obscured behind walls that told stories through their vibrant murals. I entered, and what I discovered inside was nothing short of extraordinary. The gallery was an explosion of creativity, filled with eclectic art pieces that crooned a collective hymn of expression. Each canvas, sculpture, and installation invited me to feel, explore, and connect. As I wandered from one breathtaking piece to another, I felt a magnetic pull toward a small painting in the corner. To my astonishment, the delicate strokes of the artist's brush seemed to echo the shimmering beauty of a bracelet I had returned in Delhi. A small, yet meaningful memento that whispered of my own journey. Just then, as if reading my thoughts, the gallery owner approached me. "This piece resonates with many," he said, a knowing smile playing on his lips. His voice was low and soothing, wrapping around me like a comforting blanket. "Art often blossoms from the fragments of real-life stories, intertwined by threads of fate," he continued, the sincerity in his tone inviting me to dive deeper. Intrigued by his insight, I couldn't help but share my own journey, weaving together the threads of my travels and the story of the bracelet that had become a cherished talisman. He listened intently, his gaze following me as I spoke, capturing the essence of my experiences. Then, without hesitation, he reached beneath the counter and pulled out an age journal filled with sketches and heartfelt notes. "You may find this interesting," he said, a spark of enthusiasm illuminating his eyes. Flipping through the pages, I was struck by the stories behind each artist's work. It was as though each brushstroke and note contained pieces of their hearts, fragments of their lives shared with the world. In that moment, I felt an inexplicable connection, a realization that my path was intertwining with those of countless others. We were all threads in an intricate tapestry, each story contributing to a narrative far more complex and beautiful than I had ever imagined. As I stepped out into the bustling streets of Mumbai later that evening, the horizon ablaze with the golden hues of the setting sun, I couldn't help but reflect on my adventures. My heart swelled with gratitude as I realized that my quest was not merely about seeing new sights. It was about feeling the pulse of the lives that intersected with mine along the way. I had gathered stories, emotions, and experiences that lived beyond the walls of postcards, etching memories into the very core of my being. Mumbai's streets thrummed with life as I walked under the vibrant glow of neon signs and the soft flicker of lamps. The exhilarating sounds of laughter and conversation swirled around me, a symphony celebrating both the known and the unknown. Each encounter, each moment, was a brushstroke upon the canvas of my journey, creating a masterpiece not of perfection, but of connection, warmth, and shared humanity. In the heart of it all, I understood this adventure was about forging bonds, acknowledging the lives beside me, and embracing the stories that had shaped not just my experience, but the very spirit of the places I had traveled. And as long as I kept my heart open, the journey would continue to unfurl before me, a beautiful narrative of life waiting to be explored. In the following days after my visit to Kandy, I found myself stepping into the vibrant, bustling chaos of New Delhi, India. The air was thick with the intoxicating aromas of spices wafting from street vendors, each with their own array of mouth-watering dishes meticulously displayed on makeshift tables. It was a sensory overload, each corner of the street alive with color and sound. The clamor of honking rickshaws, the chatter of locals, and the distant call of merchants competing for attention created an atmosphere that felt almost electric. I ventured into the heart of the city, where ancient traditions danced alongside modernity, creating a unique rhythm that captivated my senses. As I wandered the lively markets, I took my time to savor every bite of street food. I felt a little thrill each time I tried something new. The crispy samosas bursting with flavor, the spicy pav bhaji, and the sweet, enticing jalebis that left my fingers sticky with syrup. Each vendor's story was as rich as their offerings, and I found myself lost in these moments, chatting with the sellers and learning about their lives, their hopes, and their families. Yet, amidst the laughter and excitement, something tugged at my conscience. I felt a pull inside me for a deeper understanding of the complexities woven through the fabric of life around me. Urged by this intrinsic desire, I ultimately made my way to Dharavi, the largest slum in Asia, a place often painted with a single brushstroke of tragedy and despair. As I stepped into this bustling community, I was met with an explosion of humanity. Vibrant colors, laughter, and an undeniable sense of resilience filled the air. I entered a world where stories of struggle and triumph coexisted side by side. It was here that I met a woman named Priya, who ran a small production business out of her modest home. The moment our eyes locked, I felt a spark of connection. Her eyes radiated a fierce determination as she spoke about her journey, her aspirations seeming to reach far beyond the walls that surrounded us. As she recounted her story, I understood there was no singular dream to pursue. Everyone in Dharavi was forging their unique path amid adversity. Her laughter was infectious, and I couldn't help but smile as she animatedly described how her small business had grown from a handful of clients to catering to larger known brands. Each word she spoke was imbued with hope and tenacity. As the days floated by, I found moments of introspection amidst the hum of the city. The sunset in Mumbai became my daily ritual, an opportunity to reflect while standing by the Arabian Sea, its waves crashing earnestly against the shore. Each wave seemed to carry away my worries as the sun dipped lower on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the water. I took comfort in the thought that just as the sea embraced the shore, so too did diverse lives intertwine through shared experiences and connections, regardless of where one hailed from. Soon enough, I began to grasp the significance of those connections, echoed in the profound words of Ananya, a friend I had made who once said, "Each moment can spark an adventure if viewed through the lens of curiosity and kindness." It was this philosophy that encouraged me to engage more deeply with those around me, transforming mundane interactions into cherished memories. Whether it was sharing laughter with children playing cricket in narrow alleyways or exchanging stories of lives lived across distant lands with other travelers, Each encounter added a new layer to my evolving narrative. In Mumbai's energetic embrace, my heart filled to the brim with gratitude and understanding. Life had shown me its multifaceted essence, reminding me that the journey of exploration was not just about discovering new places, but also about delving into the lives that inhabit them. It was about the connections we forge, the kindness we extend, and the stories we carry with us. As I prepared to board my flight home, I took a moment to breathe it all in. I filled my heart with memories of the people I had met, the adventures I had lived, and the irreplaceable lessons I had learned. I realized that my quest for adventure was just beginning. As I settled into my seat and looked out the window, the landscape of India stretched out beneath me, a blend of chaos and beauty, of sorrow and joy, all coexisting in harmony. With the engine's roar echoing in my ears and the city fading into the distance, I understood that true exploration extends beyond the physical places we visit. It resides deep within us, in the connections we create, and in the empathy we nurture. It is a journey that transcends borders, cultures, and languages, a journey that invites constant learning and growth. As the plane lifted off the ground, I held on to the belief that every ending is simply a new beginning. I was ready to embrace the next chapter of my story, equipped not just with a myriad of experiences and stories, but also with a richer understanding of humanity. I knew the world was vast, and while my feet had only just begun to tread its surface, my heart was already soaring in anticipation of the adventures yet to come, with new stories waiting to unfold on the horizon. Thanks for joining the adventure. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing travels. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. Where are we heading next? Stay tuned and see you in the next adventure.